Hi, everybody. I am Kevin Ioli from Yahoo Sports, and I guess I could say Champions Week continues because I got another world champion here with me, the featherweight champ, Oscar Valdez, fighting Scott Quigg on ESPN on Saturday. How are you, Oscar?
I'm pretty good, pretty good, pretty excited and anxious already to make weight and go inside the ring and do what we do best. Let's fight.
So you have about 24 hours, I guess, until the weigh-in. So how much more weight do you have to get off?
No, I'm good at weight. Right now, I'm pound over. Right now, we can just relax and wait for tomorrow. I'll lose that pound sleeping. So there's no problem right now with our weight. We're ready and go.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Quigg. I think Quigg is probably the biggest name that you fought. This is what your fourth title defense, so you're a veteran champion by this point. But Quigg, of course, I think is maybe another level up. Would you agree with that? That he brings more to the table than anybody you faced so far?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I think Scott Quigg is a great fighter. I think he has a great background. He's a ex-world champion. And definitely, I think he's the toughest opponent right now in my career. Every fight is more important than the last one, and especially I'm taking Scott Quigg very seriously. There's no there's not a day where we didn't train hard in the gym for this preparation because I'm not taking him nothing lightly. I'm very seriously, like every professional should, and I think I'm gonna show it this March 10th.
Did you get a chance to see his fight? Watch anything on tape? The fight he had with Carl Frampton. Frampton's another high-level guy at that weight class. And what did you think?
Oh yeah, I've seen them fight before. I've seen him Scott Quigg fight a couple of times, not just the Frampton fight. And like I said, he's a good fighter. Nothing bad to say about him. He's a great fighter. I've actually stepped in the ring with them, sparring session with Freddie Roach in his gym, and just proves to me that he's a tough fighter. So like I said, we already know much about him. We studied him already, and the same way I studied him, I'm pretty sure he studied me. So it's gonna be a very interesting fight. I'll be ready, and just give him my best that night.
How does it change, Oscar? Now this is your fifth world title fight. It hardly seems possible. It seems like you're still new to the scene and everything, but your fifth world title fight, just having the belt and having to go through this time and time again, does that change? And does that maybe make you a little more confident? Is it easier as time goes on?
I mean, I wouldn't say easier, but I do feel like every day, every fight, I'm adapting a little bit more to to a better style for to keep on winning because boxing you never stop learning, and I've definitely learned a lot from my last fight. So I think I've been improving a lot. I feel much better now that obviously since my pro fight, my first professional fight, and I think by this time I'm gonna be a better fighter than Scott Quigg because of just my experience, just my experience, the experience that I've had as an amateur now as my latest fights. Like I said, I think I've learned a lot.
I was at a fight in Carson, and I think you came to the hotel. Bob Arum was really excited. I was having a coffee with Bob Arum, and I think it was when you were signing with Top Rank, and
Okay.
we were in Manhattan Beach, and you showed up at
Yes.
the hotel, and he was just really excited about being able to sign you out of the Olympics and how good of a prospect you would be. Do you feel like you've reached where kind of the expectations were for you, or do you feel like you're still on the upswing?
I wouldn't know what to I think I've achieved my dream, becoming a world champion, but I think I do feel I have a lot to prove still in this division, and as long as and in my career, I do feel this is only the beginning right now. Me being a world champion and then me making these title defenses, I think I can do a lot more, but that's just a dream right now. My goal right now is to beat Scott Quigg and from there just keep on improving and being one of the best. So I don't know. I wouldn't know if I've proven the expectations like you said, but for me, like I said, I accomplished my first dream. Yes.
You know, you're fighting for Top Rank, so Top Rank's fights are on ESPN, and then you have the Heyman fighters. They fight primarily PBC on Showtime, and you got Golden Boy fighters fighting on HBO. And it's kind of not. And I know like you're fighting Quigg, who's not a Top Rank fighter this time, but it seems like a lot of times it's a league and there's walled gardens. Are you concerned that you're not going to get the Leo Santa Cruzes or the Morrises or the guys like that are with other promoters because you're on ESPN on Top Rank and they're on Showtime on PBC or whatever it might be?
I mean, yes, there's something that I would obviously want in the future, fight these guys. But hopefully, they could come to agreement. I don't know if it was ESPN with Showtime, Showtime with HBO, and then ESPN. I don't know, but it would really, I would really like it for one day if it could come to an agreement and make these great fights because, I was looking for the big names, and thankfully right now I got a big name in front of me, which is Scott Quigg, but we've been looking for them for a long time already.
When you look at your division, who do you see as the exclude yourself from this? Who is the top dog in the division other than yourself that you would point to and say, hey, that would be my biggest win?
I would think either the winner of Leo Santa Cruz and Abner. I think that would be the one of the tougher fights I would have.
Who would now? Let's first of all, I'll ask you, who do you think would win their rematch? They fought once before, and you guys all kind of grew up in the Southwest, and I'm sure you've competed. Have you been in the ring with those guys, and either in amateurs or in sparring, and
No,
how are they going?
when I first came here to California, I did have sparring sessions with Abner and Leo Santa Cruz. They're both great fighters, good fighters. The first fight I did see Leo Santa Cruz obviously winning the fight, but I think Abner Mares did the wrong game plan fight. So maybe in this fight he does a little bit something different. Maybe he comes victorious that night. But to be honest, I think it's a very competitive fight. Obviously, let the best man win, and if everything goes well in this fight versus Scott Quigg, I would love to take the winner. But right now, I'm very focused on my fight, and after this fight, I'll gladly take any other fight.
Oscar, I wonder, sometimes in the media and the fans, we think of all the fights we want to see, and we don't realize it's a business, and that you guys are making your living doing this.
Yeah.
How much do you think about the business aspects of boxing, and does that come into play when you talk to Todd DeBuff or Bob Arum or your manager Frank Espinosa about what you want to do? Are you always looking for the fight that's going to pay you the most, or do you sort of have it mapped
Yeah.
out like, hey, I want to try to take on the best guys regardless of what the money's going to be?
Well, obviously, we're looking for fights that with the bigger names, obviously, because they had the tough. I think the tougher the fight, the bigger the money is. But to be honest, a lot of the times I'm not thinking about the money. I'm thinking about making a legacy, making my dream, to become one of the best fighters out there. But obviously, we do make a living out of this, and obviously, we want the better paydays, the better fights. That's all the reason why we're looking for these big names. Obviously, in my eyes, I want them because I want to prove I'm the best. But obviously, by me proving the best and fighting these guys, I think the bigger purses are going to come. So it's a little combination of both.
Okay.
But I'm definitely a little more inclined to my dream to become one of the best.
So before we wrap this up, I would be remiss if I did not ask you this. Before you fought Genesis Cervania in your last fight at home, as a matter of fact, in Tucson, I did a little story, and I think you got a little publicity about your pal Steve, your pet alligator, right? So I heard rumor that Steve is getting a little bigger now. So you still poking him under your arm and carrying him around?
Oh yeah, he is definitely getting bigger, and it's been very tough for me to get him now. Now if I pick him up, I have to pick him up with someone else, with a friend of mine or one of my cousins to help me out because he's gotten very heavy, very heavy.
What's
But
he weigh now?
right now, I would say like 110 pounds.
Wow.
He's heavy. He doesn't look as heavy as in the pictures as he is in real life, but yeah, he's pretty heavy, and I haven't gotten it in a while, but I don't know. Maybe in the future. Maybe if I get a little bit bigger myself.
I think you scare your opponents, right, by showing that they realize how tough you are holding alligators and they don't want to mess with you.
Yeah, I wrestle with alligators. There's no
Well,
easy.
That's good stuff. Hey, I appreciate you, Oscar. I wish you good luck on Saturday night in your title defense and in the rest of your career. Thanks for joining me.
All right, no problem, man. Anytime.